Have you ever thought of being in control of your own income? Have you ever wanted or needed more free time? Well, if you have, the following few minutes may present a viable option for you. Many people are finding it harder to make ends meet, and it's not looking any easier in the years ahead. More families are dependent on two incomes just to get by, and we worry about job security, interest rates, superannuation, and why we can't afford the things we could 10 years ago. When entering the workforce and even throughout their careers, many people have dreams of owning their own successful business with lots of personal freedom, a high degree of disposable income, time to spend with family and friends, travel, and ultimately financial security. Yet for many, careers and businesses chosen have offered a lot less. In a fast-changing world, now is the opportune time to challenge and change existing income sources to fulfil your goals and ambitions. Will Buttrose is one of Australia's leading business economists and investment bankers. He joins us today to offer his ideas on alternate businesses for the future. We also talk to a couple of people from different backgrounds who have made this opportunity work for them. Peter Grace and Kerri Anne Kennerley. Firstly to you, Will, thank you, welcome.
Hi, Kerri.
Apart from the obvious reasons to make money, the house, the car, the lifestyle, why should we be looking at another source of income in the 90s?
I think there's two main reasons. One is what we have in Australia and around the world generally is severe competition in the global sector. Technology's changing everything, and what we've seen is corporations have had to lay off staff, middle management have lost their jobs, so job security now is not as strong as it used to be back in the 70s and the 80s. Secondly, life expectancy of women is now 80 and that of a man is 76, so we're all living longer. So in terms of looking after ourselves in retirement, our future earnings, in terms of our present security, our present earnings, I think it's very wise to now be considering developing a second source of income as more security.
What would that source or business look like?
Well, it varies. A lot of people have elected just to walk away from the corporate sector, start their own typical small business, which could be a franchise, a boutique, a hairdressing salon, and so on. The reality of life there is that 65% of such businesses either shut down or unfortunately go broke within 5 years. Secondly, other people elected to either on a part-time basis or a full-time basis develop what is called a home-based business. So set up a business from home, and that includes accounting, computing, bookkeeping services, and the selling and distribution of goods from home. So I think there's probably a push, either on, as I said, a part-time or full-time basis, to start developing a business from home.
Do you consider this the right time to start that type of business?
It's very interesting to look. In America now, forecasts are that by the year 2000, 50% of Americans will be working from home and developing a home-based business. And this again is because technology is just changing the corporate structure. The jobs we've been typical of having in the 60s, 70s, 80s, they've gone. So I think that trend's going to follow in Australia. And if that trend's going to follow here, and particularly in America, we're seeing this distribution of goods and services from home, this trend's likely to follow here. So now is probably the opportune time to get in ahead of the game and start developing a business from home.
Well, let's ask Peter Grace why he became involved in this business.
Well, my background was after leaving school at, I think I was 15 or 16, it was after year 10, I'd failed year 10 pretty miserably, and I went and worked for my dad for about 3 years. He had a pub, country pub. He sold that, and I found myself, a friend and I hopped in his HQ ute and travelled to a place in Western Australia called Karratha, and I got involved in the building industry as a plasterer. So I started looking around. I didn't know that this industry existed. I had a friend of mine contact me to have a look at it. I checked it out. We didn't jump in boots and all, we did check it out, but the more that I checked it out, the more it made sense, and so we decided to get involved, and so that's how we became involved in the industry.
Kerri Anne Kennerley came to Australia from the United States on a teacher recruitment program. Kerri, can you tell us how you became involved?
Well, actually, my husband was the first to become involved in this business because he'd been actively looking for a way of becoming his own boss in a business that wouldn't require large overheads or specific training or a specific location. I went along to see the business when it was explained to him. I didn't understand it. All I could see was it was going to add more to my already busy schedule. But I did go along to a conference not long after that and met some of the people that were involved in this business, and I was really impressed with their positive attitudes and started becoming excited about the business to the point where I went into full partnership with with my husband, and today we use our individual strengths and strengths as a couple in working with this business.
Well, how important is it to have good support when developing a business?
Well, I think it's essential. A lot of people with the best intentions set up a new business. But then the hurdles come. It was more difficult than they thought. They thought success would come quicker. It didn't. Problems start rising. Now, if you've got good support, if you've got someone you can call on, if you've got an organisational structure you can tap into, that advice can just get you over the hurdles. You refocus your goals and objectives and you move on. So ideally, if you've got a support system that you can work within, it really makes developing a business much easier.
Peter, what was the essential key to your success?
Well, there are a lot of different keys, I guess, if you look at it that way, but for us it was having a non-quit attitude, and I guess any endeavour in life is going to take some effort and it's going to take some energy. There's no such thing as a get-rich-quick scheme, and this is certainly not, but we just decided to stick with it. We had a tried and proven pattern of success that had been proven many, many different times by all different people in all sorts of different backgrounds, you know, from professional people right through to tradespeople. And I thought, well, if those people could do it, so could we. So we just stuck with the system and the pattern and just decided not to give up on it.
Well, what sort of people or organisation should you look to get involved with?
Well, clearly the word here is credibility. If you're going to form a business relationship with an organisation or people, what you want is trust within both camps. If you're working with an organisation, you want to see that they've got a long-term track record, that the people you're dealing with are reputable and honest, and that you feel comfortable dealing with them. And after all, it's then your choice. You can sit back, understand, listen, and it's your choice whether you want to go on and form that relationship. But credibility and integrity, two of the key points that you should be looking for.
I suppose the next question is, has it been worthwhile? Karen, what have been the benefits?
Well, I guess the main benefit is that Tom was able to become his own boss and grow a successful business in a reasonably short period of time. Also, I see a major benefit is the personal development that we've been able to go through. It is a fact that we have to have a great deal of belief in ourselves and our endeavor if we want to make it work, and sometimes we just need to read a few more books or associate with a few people who will give us the encouragement to gain that belief in ourselves, and we've certainly had access to that in this business. Another major benefit is that we've been able to achieve financial independence. We've been able to set up ourselves so that when we do retire, we'll be happily rewarded and be able to live a life full of choices. We're able to build a beautiful home and have homes around the world. And I guess one of the last benefits that I would like to mention is that we're able to help other people who are in the same stressful financial situation that we were in by exposing them to this business.
Peter, tell us what benefits you've found.
Well, the benefits are, enormous. I guess, if you could sum it up, you'd say choices, choices, choices. And what time and money does give to you are choices, and that's certainly true of us. And I was 23 going on 24 when I saw this opportunity, and for 8 years I built it on a part-time basis, and got to the ripe old age of 32 and I left the building industry. And I guess if you weigh it up, for 8 years part-time work, I was able to buy back 33 years of my working life. And it was interesting, I showed this concept to a surgeon about 5 years ago here in Melbourne, and one of the things that intrigued me why someone like that would be interested in looking at something different, and I put that question to this particular guy, and I said, why would you be interested in looking at other options? And the answer that he gave me quite surprised me, but it stuck in my mind ever since. And the thing that he did, he was taking notes at that particular time, and he put his pen down and held up his hands like this and said, well, Peter, if something happens to these, he said, my income stops. And I guess that was the same with me in the building trade, but with this particular industry, the work that we did 13 years ago, we're still getting paid for today. And the security for myself, for my family, we have 3 young children, and we're able to spend time with them and bring them up, and it's amazing to have those sort of choices and to have that security.
Well, what should someone do now they've watched the video?
A series of steps here. Sit down right now and work out what your assets and liabilities and your income is. What is your mortgage? How are you going to pay it off? Then ask yourself, how secure is your current job and your income flow? Thirdly, now project forward and say, when I'm 55, what will my assets, liabilities and income look like? Now, if the answer to all that is you need some additional source of income and revenue to keep the support going, then perhaps you should sit down and talk with the person that gave the video, ask him or her to walk you through the various steps and opportunities available, and then make your decision whether you want to go forward and develop a new business.
Well, before we finish, I'd like to address this question to Peter. Did you find the business an overnight success?
We struggled with it for a little while. You know, I guess I never had a problem with the belief that the business worked. It was whether I could do it. And, you know, once we got over that hurdle, that took a couple of years. And once I got that belief in my mind that it could be achieved and that I could do it, and then we just went out and did the work. So to answer your question, no, it didn't happen overnight. But, you know, if you're prepared to stick at it and you're prepared to follow the pattern and the system that's in place, the business will work for you, no doubt.
Well, I'd like to thank all of our guests for their time today and their insights on personal business ownership in the 90s. If you would like to know more about the things you've just seen, please contact the person who loaned you this tape. Be prepared to look at the unconventional. It might just be your ticket to success. I wish you all the best in your decision and in the future.